every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
Core TV News, expanding your view.
Hello, thank you for joining us on Core TV Primetime News. Hi, I'm Frank OMALAPEH. Our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari's administration receives the backings of United States and other countries on the recovery of funds stolen. Also in this program, the Senate has rejected attempt to bring up issues relating to the internal crisis in the Senate caucus of the APC at plenary. And the Senate has resolved to summon the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission on the state of the nation's refineries. And outside Nigeria now, 2 new cases of Ebola virus disease has been confirmed in Freetown, Sierra Leone, dashing hopes that the capital city is free of the deadly virus. Thank you for joining us tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday said that his administration has received firm assurances of cooperation from the United States and other countries on the recovery and repatriation of funds stolen from Nigeria. Speaking at an audience with members of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, and President Muhammadu Buhari said that it was now up to Nigeria to provide the international community with the facts and figures needed to drive the recovery effort. He emphasized that the next 3 months of his administration will be busy getting those facts and figures to help recover stolen funds taken from to foreign countries. Citing the report submitted by the Ahmed Joda-led Transition Committee, President Muhammadu Buhari said that several revenue-generating institutions in the country have been compromised, leading to a weak economy. On insecurity, the president said that the traditional rulers could play a key role in stemming the terrorism and insurgency in Nigeria by assisting the government with cost-effective intelligence gathering. While the Senate has rejected the attempt to bring up issues relating to the internal crisis in the Senate caucus of the All Progressive Congress at plenary, it also turned down allegations that the Senate rule books were amended to pave way for the election of Ike Ekweremadu as Deputy Senate President. The first effort was made by Senator Gbenga Shafa, who accused Senate President Bukola Saraki of withholding a letter from the party on its decision on the sharing of principal offices, while the other was by the Senate Kabiru Marafa.
And the people can only do that if they are properly elected.
The internal crisis rocking the APC caucus of the Senate is not about to end anytime soon. This was obvious on Wednesday's plenary, where senators who were still aggrieved by Bukola Saraki's emergence as Senate President attempted to raise issues on the intra-party crisis. Senator Shafa insists that his privileges were breached by Saraki's failure to read a letter by the party leaders directing the members of the sharing of party position. Some senators, however, see the matter differently.
Again, 31-4. There shall be a deputy majority whip of the Senate. It shall be a senator nominated from the party with the highest number of seats in the Senate. Mr. President, by virtue of the privilege of being one of the senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and coming from our party, I believe, and strongly so, that that letter should have been read to the hearing of all senators here present. Perhaps that will be the solution to the leadership also in the Senate.
There shall be a majority leader of the Senate. The majority leader shall be a senator nominated from, not by. What this seeks to do, Mr. President, is to debar the internally displaced side from nominating the majority leader, and then to confer it on the All Progressive Congress, which incidentally happened to have the highest number in the Senate.
I'm going by what has been stated. I think I will just note what Senator Ashafa has said, and I think we'll leave the matter as that. I would, and in that case, rule that order point out of order.
The other issue relates to allegations of behind-the-scene amendment of the Senate rule book to pave way for election of Senate presidents by secret ballot rather than the open voting system. The claims were made by Senator Marafa and were meant to rubbish Ekweremadu's election as Deputy Senate President.
Mr. President, if we are going by the Senate Standing Orders of 2011 as amended, which is the genuine and authentic, because it has never, and it protects. Will you shut up?
Address the chair. Order.
Mr. President, like I said, the events as we witnessed on the 9th of June 2011, especially as it regards the election of the Deputy Senate President, were null and void because they were not in consonance with the provisions of the standing orders of this Senate, Your Excellency. And if you say we are going to use the Senate Standing Orders of 2015, then we need explanation as to who and why changed our Senate rules without recourse to Order 110. I so submit, Mr. President.
So the implication, therefore, is that the rule he was referring to ended with the Senate on the 6th day of June. So that is why that's why we had Senate Rule of 1999, 2003, 2007, and 2011, and now 2015. So that is the situation. So if he's seeking to amend any Senate rule, he can only amend the existing one, which is the one for 2015. So at the end of between now and 2019, this particular rule will govern us and can be amended in the manner he has suggested. But after 2019, we're going to have another Senate rule of 2019. That has been the process and procedure since 1999. And that has guided and is based on the provisions of the Constitution.
The Senate President had the final say on both issues and ruled against the position canvassed by the two senators.
There's only one rule book before us, that is Senate Standing Order 2015 as amended. The second issue you raised, which I think even in your own address you mentioned about 9th of June, where by virtue of our actions, I will refer you again to section 53, subsection 6, which says that it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question of which the Senate has come to a conclusion during the current session. And bringing that matter again goes in contrary to our Rule 53.6. So I think on this note of that, I will unfortunately have to rule you out of order on that matter.
For now, the Senate President and his loyalists in the APC are consolidating and are bent on ensuring that the party's principal leaders are selected through an internal process by senators, not party leaders in line with the Senate rule books.
As the uncertainty surrounding leadership position in the 8th National Assembly continues, more groups have expressed their displeasure with the stance of the All Progressive Congress. Addressing journalists at separate press conferences, the APC caucuses from the South, East, and North Central zones in the lower chamber are of the view that no group deserves to be ignored in the selection process. They maintain that such acts of injustice will be challenged through every available legal means.
The party is not, the party does not, it's not as if the party is there and that all of us, we're the basis of the party. When you have a party, you have a constitution. When you have a party, you have membership. And that this is an institution. We have our parliamentary practices, we have our precedents, we have our laws, we have the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that the constitution supersedes any other law and any other consideration on earth in Nigeria. And that's what we're seeking to pursue. We're saying that as a people, we are being excluded, and we cannot accept it.
Whether it is true or false, nothing is zoned to the southeast. And we believe that in the spirit of national character, in the spirit of good connection to the rest of Nigeria, in the spirit of making us belong, in the spirit of ensuring that equity and justice is played, that there is no way the leadership of the party, the leadership of the National Assembly, or the leadership of the party will distribute positions of leadership of National Assembly without giving recourse to the Southeast and what it represents.
And now the Senate has resolved to summon the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission on the state of the nation's refineries. This followed the motion by Senator Gbenga Shafa on the recent spate of fuel tanker tragedies in Lagos State and other parts of the country. Senators argue that if all the refineries were functional, there would be no need for tankers to always come to Lagos to lift fuel. They also want the Buhari administration to continue with the process of revamping the rail system to ease off the pressure on Nigerian roads.
The spate of fuel tanker explosions on our highways, which is getting curious by the day, and once again raising the questions about what has become of the rail line projects of past administrations as an alternative route to Nigerian highways. Note further that as Nigerians were still lamenting the tragedy of Yano Ipaja, another occurred at Idimo in Alimosho local government area of Lagos. The incident destroyed property worth millions of naira, and no fewer than 34 buildings, 70 shops, 1 tricycle, 1 truck, and other properties were consumed by the fire ignited by the falling petrol-laden tanker.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I quite agree with the last speaker that says that these menace caused by these fuel tanker drivers needs to be addressed urgently. Mr. President, you will quite agree with me that as we speak, the Apapa area of Lagos is under siege.
Are under its legal responsibilities so that we can determine where things are and what we need to do to make sure that petrol is supplied to all parts of Nigeria without these dangers that we perennially pose to our people.
And away from there now, Akwa Ibom Governorship Election Tribunal sitting in Abuja has ordered for the transfer of election materials used in the state to Abuja for inspection. In a ruling delivered by the Justice Sadiq Umaru-led 3-man panel, the tribunal directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to move the materials to the FCT. Umaru noted that inspection of material will enable the petitioner to prove the allegation of electoral malpractice in the conduct of the governorship election in the state.
The court has further ordered that the documents that are in the custody of INEC in Uyo be brought to the headquarters of INEC in Abuja for the purpose of that inspection, and that the security agencies ensure the security of those documents. That's what the court ordered.
When we were arguing the motion, we had said if the court decides to exercise its discretion in favor of having to extend the time, because it is actually within the discretion of the courts to extend time, but that the electoral materials should not be moved to the courts because the law, Section 72 of the Electoral Act, makes INEC to be the custodian of those materials.
And the All Progressive Congress Bayelsa State Chapter has threatened to expel some of its members recently suspended for anti-party activities. The party recently expelled and suspended 7 of its leaders for anti-party activities. The 2 expelled members are former chairman of the Front New People's Democratic Party, Chief Perekeme Podo, and a top member of the party, Sunday Putu. But the expelled and suspended members fought back on Tuesday under the auspices of the Integrity Group, claiming they had also suspended the state chairman, Tiwel Orunimige, his deputy, A.D. Julius, and the secretary, Marlin Daniel, over allegations of anti-party activities. Reacting to the development, State Publicity Secretary APC Panebi Fortune described the purported suspension of the State Working Committee executive as a huge joke. A former governor of the Font Bender State, General Samuel Ogbemudia, says Edo South Senatorial Zone of the state will produce the next governor in 2016 after the present administration of Governor Adams Oshomole bows out of office November next year. The 2-time governor, a military administrator, made this known while addressing some interest group and newsmen at his residence in Benin City.
Samuel Ogbemudia was responding to questions from journalists and said a committee referred to Edo mass movement was swinging to action July the 4th to scout for prospective credible candidates for Edo South. He emphasized that the turn of Benin-speaking tribe is to produce the next governor of the state.
A committee will be set up that will go around what you call selection committee. And from that committee, another committee, smaller committee will emerge. What you call search committee. So all those people work together to produce few names for the larger body to look at.
The 2-time governor and military administrator said it is not at loggerhead with the former governor of the state, King Binedo, over the choice of who becomes the next governor of the state, but will support if he projects better candidate that is credible from Edo South.
It's a leader that I respect. And if he has somebody that meets our standard, we will support him.
Meanwhile, it will be recalled that the palace of Obo Bini was also in accord with the Benin man becoming the next governor of the state. The campaign for the next governorship candidate is expected to begin soon from the coming days.
You're still watching Core TV Primetime News. We'll take a break now. We'll be back shortly with more stories. Join us again.
That's a sign of protest, saying that things are not good.
Women share the most amazing thoughts.
When it's close to the time, our people will protest
on national issues.
That was their own point.
That was an accident. That is different.
And they do it.
Politics is about being a servant.
Passionately.
Without a woman, there will be no success at all.
Sharing the adorable word of women.
There are some women who have what it takes.
In politics.
Margaret Thatcher, Iron Lady. When she's too soft, she's too soft.
Only on Core TV News.
It's Core TV Primetime News live from our Lagos studios. If it's just joining us now, a reminder of our top stories. The Senate has, beg your pardon now, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration received the backings of United States and other countries on the recovery of funds stolen. And the Senate has rejected attempts to bring up issues relating to the internal crisis in the Senate caucus of the APC at plenary. And the Senate has resolved to summon the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission on the state of the nation's refineries. Thank you for joining us now. For our top stories now, log on to facebook.com/Court TV News. You can also follow at Court TV News NG. You can log on to www.youtube.com/Court TV, leave space and the news. Ikere Ekiti update is still on, talking about the respite might have been in the will of Ikere town as the leadership and representatives of Ikere local government finally break its silence over the crisis on the vacant Ogoga stew. The secretary to the local government clears the air on the selection process done so far, ascribing it as kangaroo, assuring that a new selection process will be instituted. Our correspondent Rashid brings us update.
Crisis rocking Ikere Ekiti may be heading for a resolution as new critical and important stakeholders start speaking on the ownership tussle that had ravaged the one-town local government for a while earlier. The head of the kingmakers and Sabetu of Ikere Kingdom, Michael Shitu, says no process has been constituted in the selection of New Ogoga against earlier processes proclaimed by some other kingmakers.
We have not even started. I'm not just telling you, even the person who wrote the letter for the commencement of the processes for the appointment of the New Ogoga, it's not a person supposed to do that letter.
The leadership of Ikere local government, which plays very important role in the selection process, has so far been alleged for complicity on the crisis. But in a twist turn of events, the secretary to the local government, Latif Ibrahim, corroborated the stance of the Sabetu, saying no process has been instituted, even as the government knows the next ruling house to produce the next Ogoga.
If you look into the traditional declaration of 1958, it's so clear there that we have a three principals rulings house in this town. And they are rotating this position among themselves. According to the where they are doing it before, even what to say, the Agabala ruling house is the next. So following from that house, they is removed to Ogbenote.
The local government secretary speaks further that a new selection process will be instituted by the state government.
Very soon, the government will ask us to call all the kingmakers, then we start everything afresh. It will be better we start afresh, because the previous ones is more or less a kangaroo system.
With fresh facts emerging on the ownership crisis, it is hoped that peace will ultimately return to Ikere as the wish of the people on the choice of Ogoga will be respected. Rashid, Court TV News, Ikere Ekiti.
And now, following the strong fight against crime, most especially kidnapping and courtesan, which are currently on the increase in Imo State, the State Command of the Department of State Security says it has recorded great feats. The recent one being the parade of another 5 young men and a lady that were paraded at the command for locking up a man in a toilet for 5 days without food nor water. Our correspondent, Ajibade Professor, has details.
On hearing the arrest of the kidnappers, the governor, who had been worried over the rate of crime in the state, did not hesitate to visit the command. He thanked the men of the command for their job well done. Responding to some of the questions put to them, the suspected kidnappers said they are not the real men behind the kidnapping of Nwanwike Chinaka. The governor, however, reacted to the inhumanity perpetrated by the kidnappers.
Citizens of Nigeria. Now, for having kept somebody for 1 week in a place, in a toilet, is dehumanizing, and I'm sure they have intention to kill him if they don't provide the money. Now, what I want to assure Imolites that working together with security agencies of Imo State, we shall guarantee their security.
The governor, however, in strong terms, asked every criminal in the state to pack their belongings and leave the state, that the people of Imo are great people and they cannot shelter criminals.
But let me again warn all criminals, all kidnappers, get out of Imo State. This is not your place. Get out now, because we are ready for you. And any house of any kidnapper or where kidnapping is found will be demolished and destroyed. First of all, we have to go to their homes and see the lifestyle of their parents. If the lifestyle of their parents does not justify their means, does not justify the building they have, those buildings also will be brought down. and their parents will be tried. And I want to warn parents now to ask where are your children every day and what they do and the kind of friends they keep.
The director of the command also assured the governor and the entire people of Imo State that they will continue to do their best to ensure the state is free of crime.
So I'm assuring you, Your Excellency, that this is just the beginning. In no distant future, the issue of kidnapping will be a thing of the past in Imo State. And we still crave for your support.
The kidnappers are to be tried soon in court, all to face the law accordingly. Ajibade Awofeso, Core TV News, Owerri.
The Economic and Financial Crime Commission has arraigned one Joseph Onoja Gabriel before a Lagos State High Court in Ikeja on a 4-count charge bordering on conspiracy to defraud, impersonation, forgery, and using false document. Gabriel was arrested by the operatives of the EFCC sometimes in 2014, following a petition that they impersonated Gabriel Suswan, the immediate past governor of Benue State. He had attempted to extort money from some foreigners under the pretense of giving them contracts. Aside from that, the accused also procured a fake international passport bearing the name of the former governor, but with his own passport photograph. When the charges were read to him, Gabriel pleaded not guilty. Justice Lawala Kapo ordered that the defendant be remanded in Kirikiri Maximum Prison pending his bail application and adjourned the case to November 23 and 24 and 25 for trial. A National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has discovered 3 clandestine laboratories used for illegal production of methamphetamine. The illegal drug factories were detected in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. A suspected drug kingpin Chukwu Wendu Sylvester Ikeja, also known as Blessed, has been arrested in connection with the discovery. He's said to be the owner of the laboratories and leader of an international drug trafficking organization that recruits and sponsors drug couriers to China, Malaysia, Turkey, and Italy. 37-year-old Okejako hails from Ozubulu, Ekuzigo local government area of Anambra State, and is the group managing director of Blessed Group of Companies. NDLEA findings reveal that the suspect hid under the cover of motorcycle part business and running a drug sale that has international affiliation and shuttles between his country home in Ozubulu, Newi, and his Lagos resident at number 2 Street, James Close, Ajao Estate. Also recovered from him paraphernalia from drug concealment similar to the one seized with drugs at the airport and land borders. And now plans by the federal government to lay off teachers of staff schools at federal government-owned universities has been generating reactions. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian University has threatened to embark on an industrial action that will paralyze the activity the universities if the decision is not reversed. Southwest branch of the union held a protest at the University of Ilorin, the Kwara State's capital. A correspondent Rashid tells us more.
University of Ilorin Primary School is one of the 24 staff schools operated by federal universities across the country. Some of the 84 teachers in this particular school are not happy with the new directive from the Federal Ministry of Education directing the university authority to stop paying the salary of the teachers from the budget of the school, as government will soon stop funding them. Most of the teachers roam about the school, while others discuss in hushed tones. The Southwest chapter of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities briefed the affected teachers on the planned sack as the teachers resort to protest against such decision. They wondered how other agencies like the military will operate primary and secondary schools from their budget, while universities will be an exemption. They say an agreement was signed with the government 6 years ago for the total funding of the schools from the university's budget, wondering how a circular will now be issued categorizing them as ghost workers.
Our grievances is as a result of the unjustified circular that is currently in the universities. The content of that circular is highly offending and offensive in the sense that it is calling our members in our various staff schools of the universities who were employed, duly employed by the councils of their various universities as staff of the universities. That circular is now calling them ghost workers, that any vice chancellor that includes their names in the budget of the universities will be regarded as including the names of ghost workers in their payrolls. So for us, it's very offensive, and the union will not take it. We know there are orchestrated plans, surreptitious moves by some powerful people within the system to ensure that these people are exorcised from the system. SANU will go back to the trenches. We'll go back to the trenches, and we're going to take them on.
Unionary branch chairman of SANU, Adeleke Afanla, threatened that federal universities will be grounded if the decision is not reversed, calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to intervene in order to avert another major crisis in the education sector.
That our demands are not met in the first instance. The reason why we are having this is just to sensitize the whole world, not even Nigerians alone, that workers in the university systems are not lovers of strike. And you know, when the demands are not met, it means we have been pushed to the wall. And you know, the next alternative will be declaration of strike. But we are telling the whole world we're not interested in strike. It's not the best instrument we want to be using every time. But when our cause are not being attended to, of course, we don't have any other option. It's part of our weapons that we fight.
The union also called for the removal of the executive secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Julius Okoje, for being part of the plot. Rashid, Core TV News, Ilorin.
Residents of Alagbole Akute in Ifo local government area of Ogun State are grappling with the challenge posed by bad road network over the years. The situation for most residents is getting to its peak during the rainy season. And with the rains now here, residents of the area are again exposed to the challenge of navigating the area due to a flood and erosion affecting the road network. A correspondent, Precious Kirsten, who visited the areas, has this report presented from our studios. Movement for those who have access to good road is just hassle-free, but for the residents of Alagbole Akute for local government area of Ogun State, it's not something to be taken lightly with the awful condition of the road network within the area, which is home to thousands. For an average vehicle owner, navigating the roads here is a difficult task. Different strokes, they say, for different folks, which motorcycles and tricycles have become an alternative means of transportation, with many of them smiling to the bank daily. Some private vehicle owners who are not happy with the bad state of the roads bear their minds on what they go through daily.
Let government just support us to finish this job. We need an assistant, and because this road is worse thing. When the rain continues like this place will not. There is no way to pass, and a lot of motor and a bike spoiling around this road.
We are appealing to the governor to please. This is a good project, but we are appealing to them to finish it on time. The suffering here is much for us. I feel like packing out of Akute and move into Lagos.
These residents say the health implication has become a source of major worry, with refuse dumps now a common sight almost on the major roads.
Government should come to our own aid here and just see what they can do so that the people in this vicinity will not be able to contact any disease from what is going on with this.
The bad road network has 8 implications on economic activities in the area, leading to a mass immigration.
Yes, so everybody has run away now. No one is here again. Everybody has gone to Ajal, Ikeja, Ogba, Bega, Ojodu, so Oshodi. In fact, many has gone back to Ibadan. But we are managing here because we don't have anywhere to go. So we need to relax here and be waiting on to God for God to do something. We are begging the government to assist us. It's not too late. Though we know this is rainy season, but at the same time, maybe during the dry season, they should help us to put things in order.
The problem we have now, look, you can see the vehicle, all the vehicle going now, is this bridge. The governor has tried to do the bridge to this level. Now that it's in, let it come and complete the bridge, or even do the wrong way for us so that we can see road passing. All the vehicles here are damaging. You can see this vehicle damaged, other one damaged there. Just help us to come and do the road. There's no anything else. For this main time now, let me just call the Chinese people to come and straighten the road so that people can pass around and the vehicle can move around.
With the situation showing no signs of an improvement anytime soon due to the ongoing financial crisis that has crippled activities in many states, the demand of the residents of the area is that the state government must find a quick fix solution to the bad state of the road. And away from there now, animal and plant species in Ogba Zoological Garden, a natural park in Edo State, is currently under threat as land speculators from surrounding communities have allegedly encroached on it. The park, which is about 400 hectares, is one of the rarest tropical rainforests still found in Nigeria, with its characteristics still intact. Antonio Regbemi, technical director and one of the managers of the park, called on the state government to immediately arrest the situation before the state loses its forest and the park. The technical director, while addressing journalists on the challenges facing the park since its establishment in 1971, said, as of 2003, when the human encroachment began, the natural habitat which houses most of the animal and plant species under the protection of the zoo and served as field laboratory for research is being bulldozed.
While the other encroachment is on, fresh devastation have erupted in the area. Communities, same people have gone in, torn the remaining heritage into pieces.
Urigbeme, while attributing the encroachment on neighboring communities, said government's seeming attitude towards the situation in the past has further heightened the encroachment, saying only government decisive action will salvage the situation.
The government, as the sole owner of the forest estate, of this very particular zoo we are talking of, should take more decisive action. Instead of dilly-dally over the years. Imagine structures were demolished, they were being rebuilt, nothing is done. Then, that notwithstanding, fresh incursions have been made. How do you look at that? It's a mockery.
Some elders around Ogba Natural Park, who spoke separately, suggest that the zoo be relocated given the growing urbanization. They, however, observed that it has, on a yearly basis, helped economic activities in the area. And as the activities of insurgents continue to rise across West Africa's sub-region, the Controller General of Nigeria Immigration Service, David Paradang, has called for more vigilance at the borders. Paradang stated this at a summit on mobility and security in West Africa, organized by a Clean Foundation in Lagos. Represented by Mohammed Nuruddin, Deputy Controller of Immigration Service Command, says monitoring of the immigrant coming in and out of country is essential to checking the activities of criminal-minded people.
It is also our duty to study him very well. Is that visa really genuine or fake? We have to look at the visa. Then, if he is given permit to enter the country, what do we do when he is residing in the country? We have to monitor him also. Because certainly we cannot give him free hand and then or to be moving the way he likes. No, that's why we have our IIE, Intelligence Inspectorate and then Enforcement.
You're still watching the Primetime News. We take another break now. We'll be back with sports and other stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
As news breaks, people don't let events pass without giving their comment or reactions.
When the problem arises in society, these are the people that should be consulted.
To cleanse the corruption in society, we are not to provide information for good life and also security of life and property in this country.
The academic society have the loudest voice on this platform.
Whether you call it a sovereign national conference or a national conference, it is about the people of Nigeria.
There should be a change in power.
In any way they can do it.
I think there's a script already.
Every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. on this station. From the Ivory Tower, a must-watch for the learning minds.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. Outside Nigeria now, 2 new cases of Ebola virus disease has been confirmed in Freetown, Sierra Leone, dashing hopes that the capital city is free of the deadly virus. A spokesman for the National Ebola Response Center, CD Tunis, said there were concerns about further infections since the 2 cases were reported in Magazine, a densely populated slum in the capital city. Health officials said the first case in Freetown since May 29 was a fisherman who caught the hemorrhagic fever from his girlfriend in the northern district of Port Loko. Shortly afterwards, a family member who lived in the same household also caught the virus. The other 6 cases recorded in Sierra Leone over the past week were in the northern provinces of Port Loko and Cambia. Health Ministry data shows the worst-known Ebola epidemic in history has killed more than 11,000 people in West Africa, about a third of them in Sierra Leone. Liberia became Ebola-free in May, but its neighbors, Sierra Leone and Guinea, are still struggling to get to 0 cases despite hundreds of millions of dollars in aid. And now President Barack Obama has assured his French counterpart, François Hollande, that the U.S. is no longer spying on France. Mr. Obama spoke to Hollande following reports on the WikiLeaks website that U.S. National Security Agency NSA spied on successive French presidents. WikiLeaks reported that the NSA had intercepted communications from President François Hollande and former leaders Nicolas Sarkozy and Jacques Chirac between 2006 and 2012. The allegation prompted a backlash from the French government, with Hollande saying he would not tolerate acts that threaten France's security. He called 2 emergency meetings, the first with France's top security officials and another with leading legislators. Prime Minister Emmanuel Valls urged the U.S. to quickly repair damage to its relationship with France. The U.S. Ambassador Jane Hartley was also summoned to the Foreign Ministry in Paris to discuss the latest claims. French intelligence officials are due to travel to Washington for more talks. And our box office in entertainment now. Giants Furious 7 refused to hit the brakes on global earnings, zooming past Marvel's The Avengers for an all-time record. The 7th installment on the Fast and Furious franchise now occupies the 4th slot in the worldwide all-time gross record list, having raked in $1.52 billion since its April release. Only Avatar and Titanic have made more money. Fast and Furious is an American franchise including a series of action films which center on illegal street racing and haste, and various other media portraying and characters and situations from the film. And the film is distributed by Universal Pictures, and the series was established with the 2001 followed by 6 sequels. 2 short films that are into the series, and as of May 2015, it has become Universal's biggest franchise of all time. And now Janet Jackson is to be honored with the Ultimate Icon Prize in honor of her incredible career at the BET Awards this Sunday, June 28. The 49-year-old singer is being recognized at the ceremony, which will be broadcast on the Black Entertainment Television Network for her achievements in the music industry over the last 4 decades. Jason Derulo, Tinashe, and Sierra are all set to perform a tribute to Janet, the sister of Michael Jackson, who will be the first recipient of the accolade as awards boss. Stephen G. Hill said, "They're excited beyond belief to present her with the inaugural Ultimate Icon Music Dance Visual Award, and they are thrilled that she chose the BET Awards as the first step on her new road." And in sports now, Super Eagles first choice goalkeeper and captain Vincent Inyama failed to appear before the disciplinary committee of the Nigerian Football Federation on Tuesday, June 23rd, and may be sanctioned. The Lille goalkeeper came under barrage of criticism for his remark against the NFF's choice of Ahmadi Stadium in Kaduna for Eagles' African qualifier against Chad played on June 13th. NFF was not satisfied with his apology, and the Super Eagles captain was summoned to a disciplinary hearing on Tuesday in Abuja. But the former Enyimba player turned down the invite. Meanwhile, Chris Green, who is a member of the NFF, said Enyama's case will be treated with caution as those in the disciplinary committee will be allowed to do their job before the appropriate actions are taken. Now, the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna will host the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match between the Super Eagles and the Pharaohs of Egypt, scheduled for Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016. The Nigerian Football Federation announced the venue of the match on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the head coach of the under-23 national team, Samson Siasia, has read the riot act by giving all invited home-based members of the Flying Eagles team that went to New Zealand Friday, 26 June, as deadline to report to the team's camp. Siasia stated that any invited player that does not meet the Friday deadline should forget about the invitation. And our Uruguay striker Edmecin Canavi is considered leaving Uruguay's Copa America camp following the arrest of his father over allegations of causing death by dangerous driving while under the influence of alcohol. The Paris Saint-Germain star's father, Luis Cavani, is being held in police custody after his car collided with a motorcycle in the South American nation on Monday night. The victim, a 19-year-old man, was taken to the nearest hospital in the city of Salto with a diagnosis of multiple trauma and loss of consciousness in a severe condition. However, he was pronounced dead in the early hours of Tuesday as details of the incident emerged, including allegations that the PSG striker's father tested positive for being over the legal alcohol limit. And finally tonight, Liverpool have signed forward Roberto Firmino from Hoffenheim on a 5-year deal for a fee of about $29 million, as the 23-year-old's deal is subject to a medical which will take place after he returns from Chile, where he has been playing for Brazil in the Copa America. Firmino, who has scored 47 goals in 151 games for Hoffenheim, becomes the Reds' second most expensive player, as the Anfield club made Andy Carroll the record signing when he joined them for €35 million from Newcastle in 2011. Firmino, who has spent the last 4.5 seasons in the Bundesliga, was on target for Brazil in their 2-1 Copa America victory over Venezuela on Sunday. You have been watching Court TV Primetime News. Just before we get tonight, a recap of our major headline. And we told you that President Muhammadu Buhari's administrations received the backings of the United States and other countries on the recovery of funds stolen. We also brought to you that the Senate has rejected attempts to bring up issues relating to the internal crisis in the Senate caucus of the APC at plenary. And finally tonight, the Senate has resolved to summon the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission on the state of the nation's refineries. Well, and that's it on Court TV Primetime News tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Frank OMALAPEH. Good night.